from gorgeous Cipriani in Manhattan on 42nd Street. I'm Mark Gala. Welcome to this JBS special as we bring you the 2017 Gala of the American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center. There are many wonderful hospitals, medical centers in the state of Israel. One of the premier hospital centers in all of Israel is located in Petach Tikvah, right near Tel Aviv, where the Beilinson Hospital and the Hasharon Hospital have joined together to create the Rabin Medical Center, which services the entire state of Israel and has become a world-class, world-renowned hospital. By the way, I'm standing here in front of a large photograph of the entire Rabin Medical Center, and you can see here's the future Hospital Heart Center, which is world-renowned as well. You also have the Davidoff Cancer Center, which services Jews from all over the state of Israel and abroad, and the Schneider Children's Medical Center, named after Helen Schneider, also one of the premier medical centers in the state of Israel. But the entire, as you can see it from afar, the entire hospital complex is amazing, the Rabin Medical Center. And what's also most interesting is many of us know Hadassah Hospital. We know Shaarei Tzedek. It's important for all of us to understand the outstanding work being done at the Rabin Medical Center in Petach Tikvah. We're going to be here introducing you to many of the people who make the Rabin Medical Center the outstanding medical facility that it is. I hope you stay with us. Again, JBS's exclusive presentation of the Gala here for the 2017 Rabin Medical Center, the American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center. I have a great honor right now standing with Eran Halpern. You head the Rabin Medical Center in Petach Tikvah. First of all, tell me your own background. Who the heck are you, and how do you become the president of the Rabin Medical Center?
Wow, that's a long story. I'm a physician by profession.
What area?
Internal medicine. And for many years, maybe too many, I'm in medical administration. I was a deputy in a small hospital in the north, Haemek, near Afula. And then I was heading a district of a large HMO in Israel, Clalit Health Services, going up the ranks. I used to be the deputy of the whole Clalit system in charge of all hospitals. And now for quite a long period of time, 11 years that I'm running Rabin Medical Center,
Marvelous.
Which is an amazing job. And I think Rabin is the best hospital in Israel.
By the way, the reputation of your medical center now is world-renowned. It's interesting that there are many American Jews who know the name Hadassah, they know Shaarei Tzedek. They're not familiar enough yet with the Rabin Medical Center, and they're making a mistake because the work you're doing has gained recognition throughout the world. Kol hakavod to you,
Thank you.
Your staff. I've talked about you have 1,000 doctors, 2,000 nurses. You have specialties in so many areas, in so many buildings. And by the way, if you had to pick out the 3 areas that you're proudest of in terms of the medical care you're giving, what would be the 3 top areas?
Well, we are the largest and the best transplant center in Israel. We are doing lung transplant, heart, kidneys. The vast majority of transplants are being done in our hospital. Secondly,
And by the way, you have a very high rate of success, correct?
Right. Secondly, we are very proud of our cancer center, Davidoff Cancer Center, which is ever growing. Unfortunately, there are too many patients. We do succeed, so people are living longer, they need more and more treatments. So that's a very big and important part of our doing. And thirdly, I would say cardiovascular and cardiac surgery, which are also very large institution with very significant achievements.
Eyal, how would you rate medical care in Israel overall? And because we're here in America, how would you compare medicine in Israel to medicine in the United States?
Well, that's a very tricky question. I think medicine, most of our physicians do take their after-graduate training in the United States. No doubt that you have very good doctors, very good hospitals, and we have a lot to learn. And we do send dozens of our physicians. As a matter of fact, some of them are over here. Those who are currently in New York are with us today. On the other side, what's unique in Israel is a universal access, that you don't have to bother too much which kind of insurance a patient has. We give the same kind of treatment and trying to give the best to each patient. And I think that plays a role. So everybody can have access, whoever he is, Arab, Muslim, Christian, Jew, whatever social economic class they can get, and just get the best treatment.
That's beautifully said. You mentioned, by the way, that Arabs are also your patients. They're also physicians at your hospital, correct?
I don't think that the healthcare system in Israel is a place where we can see the cooperation between Arabs and Jews. In both sides, we have many hundreds of Arab nurses and doctors. We have hundreds of patients that are being treated, and we feel it's the same. We have the same goal, the same group with the same direction of what we are doing, and I think that's fantastic, and that's a source of optimism.
One more, again, it's a difficult question, but I want to hear your answer. There's a lot of concern now for the way medicine approaches end of life, and that people feel we have not yet, as a society, and I'm now talking about world society, Western society, America, Israel, we have not yet given enough attention to how to make it easier for people at the end of their life. What are your thoughts in general, Eyal?
Well, you're absolutely right. Physicians look at death as a failure. So they are fighting this unavoidable event as how they can beat the natural course of life. But I think those things are changing. We do have a strong palliative care in our hospital, which really trying to help people when we see that there is nothing more to do because of terminal stages of a disease, that we understand that we just have to let go to do it in the most appropriate way.
And make it as easy for both the patient and the family.
Without too much pain, and adjusting the family to this unavoidable path of life. That's part of our life.
All right, so American Jewry and really all of America is watching you right now on JBS. I want you to speak to them. What's the message you want to leave all of us, when it comes to the Rabin Medical Center?
Well, Rabin Medical Center is a hospital that does get a lot of support from the American community, not only Jews, but also, happily so, I'm saying, also Christians. We do need this help. The governmental budgets for healthcare is not enough. We know what to do. We would like to do the best American medicine in the Israeli setup, in the Middle East complicated situation. And I would like to thank all those who have come this evening to show their support with our center.
It is an honor to meet you. Kol Tuva Hatzlacha. You're a gibor at the moment.
Thank you.
I wish
very
you
much.
only the best, and thank you for the time.
Thank you very much.
Eyal Halpern. Well, you can tell already, I'm standing here with a guest of honor, His Eminence, Timothy Cardinal Dolan. First of all, it is wonderful that you would give up some of your time to support the Rabin Medical Center. You know, in essence, what brings you here?
An easy call.
Yes.
Jews and Catholics have a similar passion for healthcare.
Yes.
It flows from our common belief in the dignity of the human person. It flows from the Hebrew wisdom literature. that God did not make death. God did not make sickness. And when we participate in healing, we are participating in God's power. We both believe that. We both believe in truth and healing. That's why Jews and Catholics are so committed to hospitals and to education, right?
Absolutely.
And so that brings me here tonight.
That is gorgeous.
We've got a stellar one in Rabin.
Absolutely. Look, you have gone out of your way to build bridges between the Catholic and Jewish community. Cardinal, where does that come from? How did you get to be, from where the insight of the importance to you of the bridge building?
Well, thank you, first of all, to think that I am. One would be natural. My mom and dad in our neighborhood, hospitality, welcoming people, newcomers, come on in, you're at home here. So I was raised with a natural inclination to welcome people and make them feel at home. I owe that to my folks. But then spiritually, you know, Pope St. John Paul II says the Jews are our spiritual forefathers and foremothers. We're one family. I believe that with all my heart and soul. So both naturally and supernaturally.
One last question. The Rabin Medical Center is in Petach Tikvah in Israel.
Right.
What's your feeling these days about the tie between you, the state of Israel as the Holy Land, and the connection that the Christian community in general has had to the Jewish community as it applies to the state of Israel?
I will tell you that I think we're at a time of Jewish-Catholic friendship that is unprecedented. There's no place in the Mideast where Christians are safer than in Israel. And are there still challenges? You bet there are. But the whole dialogue, the whole trust, the whole now, boy, the cooperation between the Holy See, the Vatican, and the State of Israel, this is magnificent.
Yes.
And I know that I'm honored to be part of the national Jewish Catholic dialogue. And my rabbis and bishop colleagues would say the same thing. So,
Kol Tuva Hatzlacha means all goodness, success for you. You are doing magnificent work, and we appreciate you very, very much.
People like you.
Thank you, Cardinal. Be well. I'm standing now with one of my favorite people in the world, Rabbi Joe Potasnik, Executive Director of the New York Board of Rabbis, and one of the leading rabbinic lights on the American scene today. First of all, what brings you to the Rabin Medical Center, the American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center Gala?
Well, everyone's a friend of the Rabin Medical Center because they do extraordinary work in helping and healing people of all different faiths. There's a Muslim proverb that God has made us of one blood. And here we are, the Cardinal, the Jew. We have some Muslim guests tonight. We are many and we are one simultaneously.
What do you hope people take away from this evening about the Rabin Medical Center in Israel, which is doing extraordinary work, not only for the people of Israel, but really for the people of the Middle East? But what's the message you hope people take away from tonight, Joe?
You know, one of the things that happens is when you walk into a hospital, nobody asks you, what is your religion, what is your race? They're there to help, to heal, and to see that you walk out much better than when you walked in. We're honoring Cardinal Dolan tonight. Rabin Medical Center honoring Cardinal Dolan. Isn't that a statement that we have to look beyond these superficial definitions, seek the substance of the person, and realize that we are all together in this? There is a statement, you should love your neighbor. It doesn't say love your Jewish neighbor, your Christian neighbor, your Muslim. Love all your neighbors. Our hospital teaches us that we can be different and we can be the same. So thank you, Rabin Medical Center.
Well, what a thrill I have now. I'm standing with the hostess of tonight's gala, Magalie Laguerre-Wilkinson, who is a producer at 60 Minutes. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, I've been there now just about 13 years, Mark. It's great to see you here tonight. What an event. It's about New York. It's celebrating New York. It's celebrating Israel. It's celebrating the Rabin Medical Center that's doing extraordinary work. It's celebrating a partnership with both countries and both cities. And also just, I mean, it shows again how there are no borders when it comes to medicine and when it comes to hospitals and helping people. And this is named after a great human being, someone who always wanted this type of coexistence, and it's been brought to the fore and to life through the medical center.
That's beautifully said. So, what did you do with 60 Minutes in Israel?
So I was there on a few occasions, actually, with the late Bob Simon, who had been based actually in Israel for many years for CBS News. And also, as a correspondent for 60 Minutes, we went back numerous times to do a variety of stories there. So it's a place I grew to love. Just everything from the beaches to the desert to the people. I think people will take away from tonight the bridge building, because tonight we're honoring two people, one of whom is the Cardinal. Cardinal is Cardinal Dolan. And I mean, where would you ever think that an institution in Israel would be honoring a Catholic? And we're not even talking about that. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's about wonderful people doing wonderful things for the greater good of humanity.
You've done fabulous work of your own. It's lovely to meet you in person and spend a moment with you. Thank you for speaking with our JBS audience.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Magalie Laguerre-Wilkinson. A real pleasure now standing with one of the honorees tonight, Scott Rechler. Well, Scott, what's it mean to you?
Well, first, I think the Rabin Medical Center has been a great organization, and while it's based in Israel, the set of values that the organization has and that it infuses in the New York business community is extraordinary. And the different events they've had, and I've had the opportunity to speak at some of their events and been different things with them, I think it brings out a sense of community and commitment by anyone who participates.
What's your sense of American Jewish tie to the state of Israel today?
Listen, I think that we are in globally some extraordinarily turbulent times, and I think there's a reshuffling of relationships between countries. And I think when things like that happen, it's more important than ever to come back to the foundation of your roots and your people, because this is where you need to have that sense of strength and longevity and commitment to what the values that we as Jews have all had historically.
What do you hope people who are watching all over America take away from this evening in honor of the Rabin Medical Center?
What I really hope people take away tonight is that we all can make a difference, and that we all need to be committed, whether you're an elected official or a citizen at large, at doing your part in making the world a better place.
Kol Tov v'Hatzlacha, and we are honoring you tonight for good reason. It's a pleasure to have you on JBS. Hope we get to speak again often. Thank you so much. Be well.
Thank you.
Scott Rechler. A pleasure to be standing with Ofer Yardeni. And you, by the way, have been involved with the Rabin Medical Center for quite some time, Ofer, correct?
Absolutely, for the last 10 years.
Okay. How did you become involved?
How did I become involved? One, I grew up in Israel, so I knew about the hospital.
A Sabra?
Sixth generation.
From where?
My family came from Spain, and then Haleb, Syria, to Hebron and Jerusalem.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small city, Bat Yam, south of Tel Aviv, like Queens to Manhattan.
What makes you especially proud to be associated with the Rabin Medical Center?
I think when you visit the center, you see that in this place, in this hospital, nobody judges you based on race, color, religion, and who you are.
Israeli and Arab?
Israelis and Arab, and in fact this is like the philosophy in every hospital. I came from Israel last week on a mission of the FIDF, and I was in another hospital in the north, and I had a chance to visit and to see and to speak with refugees that came from Syria on the crisis between Syria and ISIS. So I think that, one, the name Rabin, he was my favorite prime minister, he was a hero. So just to continue the legend of Rabin is an inspiration. Second, what we do in life is really meaningful. If you think about doctors and nurses, they are the true angels. And I have a very special love and affection to every doctor, every nurse, and I will support them as much as I can. So to have a hospital in Israel that really takes care about the life of every citizen, every person, it's really an honor for me to be here tonight and to support this hospital.
Ofer, it's an honor to have you on. Kol tuv v'hatzlacha. May you go from strength to strength, my friend.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. And so now I'm standing with, how fitting is this? Dr. Ruth Westheimer, of course, an American icon. By the way, what do you know and what can you tell our audience about medicine in general in the state of Israel?
Now, first of all, we in Israel, as you know, I'm going every single year, and we will have breakthroughs that the whole world is going to benefit. And I do look at this event with a little bit of sadness because I loved Rabin. And as you remember, because you're a big shot, smart, Shalom TV, you remember he was singing. He usually never sang. He was singing Shira Shalom. Shira Shalom, the song of peace. Maybe he would have succeeded. He might have succeeded. And then some idiot, some crazy guy kills him. So I'm happy to be here. And I'm particularly happy to see you. I'm old-fashioned and a square, so I'm loyal to Hadassah.
Okay.
So because Hadassah,
And you have a very
Hadassah
close link.
fixed my feet,
Yes.
so I can dance and ski. After the Haganah, after I was badly wounded in Yerushalayim.
Yes.
However, it's not only Hadassah, it's not only Bikur Cholim, it's also the Rabin Center, and I think it's very important to celebrate some of the achievements. I hope they raise a lot of money.
Yes.
I hope they raise a lot of money because it needs the money for the training of nurses and physicians and for research.
Okay. As a medical professional yourself, speak to one other issue. There are 1,000 doctors at the Rabin Medical Center. There are 2,000 nurses. People sometimes don't understand how important nursing care is to the recovery of patients. Would you talk for a moment about the importance of nursing?
First of all, nursing people and the orderly, they are what is called in sociology significant others. Never mind the physicians. The physicians go in, they tell you what to do. It's the nurses who kind of caress you. It's the nurses who hold your hand. It's the nurses who are the significant others. I'm doing right now a little research. Why surgeons are so arrogant. So I will talk to you about that on Shalom TV. Shalom.
Dr. Ruth Westheimer, you see her every week on The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth Westheimer, right here on JBS. I love you.
Thank you.
Shalom, shalom. Dr. Ruth, here at the American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center Gala at Cipriani. She is quite something, isn't she? By the way, the reason I asked her about nursing care is one of the outstanding attributes of the Rabin Medical Center. And it's important for all of us to understand that, look, doctors are doing God's work. The Jewish tradition holds doctors, physicians, people who heal across the spectrum of medical care in the highest esteem. But the ones who really make a difference on the front lines are the nurses. They're now men and women. And the nurses at Rabin Medical Center are known to be some of the most caring, loveliest, well-trained individuals in all of world nursing. So it's important to keep that in mind whenever you think of the Rabin Medical Center. What a pleasure I have now. I'm standing with Ron Cohen, who's the president of the American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center. Ron, by the way, what brought you to this organization and why are you giving your time to the Rabin Medical Center?
Well, I grew up in Israel. I was born in the States, but I grew up in Israel, and I know what was Rabin Medical Center was originally Bellinson Center.
Yes.
And the Bellinson Hospital was some place I spent a lot of time because my grandfather had 6 heart attack operations in that hospital. So as a kid, I spent a lot of time in the hospital. So it was just a good cause, and I wanted to help the hospital in their fundraising. But actually the Rabin Medical Center is the largest hospital in Israel, and it's a really important hospital. And at the time, the director, Dr. Oppenheim, is the one who changed the name from Beilinson to Rabin Medical Center and created a park-like center that was a combination of 3 hospitals. So since then, this medical center is, I think, the largest one in the Middle East. So we have over 1,000 beds, and the hospital is doing procedures that no other hospital in Israel is doing. I think it's #1 in kidney transplants and many other aspects of surgeries and procedures. One thing is to remember is to give more than you get, and Israel needs your help. The Jewish states needs the diaspora support in the worst way. So anything you can do to Israeli causes in general, and of course to us in particular, is welcome. And please continue to appreciate everything that America is doing to raise money for Israel.
I have the pleasure now of standing with Steven Siegel, who is not only a current board member, you are President Emeritus of American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center.
Yes, sir, and I'm proud to be it.
How do you become involved with the Rabin Medical Center?
Been involved my whole life in charities. A gentleman that I worked with for many years was involved with Rabin, convinced me of its cause and how worthy it is, and was then. And we put together the first dinner of this type. But the care, the nurturing, the warmth of the doctors, the nurses, and it's like they're taking care of family, not strangers. And my wife, having been ill for a long time, getting that same treatment here and in Boston, it took a special place in my heart.
Well, I'm standing with a man who makes so much of this happen, the Executive Director of the American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center, Josh Plout. First of all, Mazal Tov, fabulous evening tonight. Everyone here is so excited and is so supportive of work you're doing and of the extraordinary care given by the Rabin Medical Center. It must really be very gratifying to you.
It is. This is like the world coming together, like the Rabin Medical Center. 1 million patients, 1/3 are Israeli, Arab, Muslims, and Christians.
There are people watching all over America today. What do you want them to understand most about the American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center and about the Rabin Medical Center itself?
We are a national charity based in New York, and we are looking for friends all over the United States to support the best medical facility in Israel, best cancer center, best women's hospital, best genetics institute, the major transplantation center.
You're helping women with breast cancer, correct?
My mother had breast cancer living in Israel and came back to the United States for treatment, 1972 and the 1980s. When I took on this job as the Executive Director of the American Friends of Rabin Medical Center, I thought I want to do something in memory of my late mother, Hadassah Plout. I established 7 years ago the NYC 5K Schlep for breast and ovarian cancer, a run walk, the first Sunday every June in Battery Park in New York City. We want to take the NYC 5K Schlep and make it the LA 5K Schlep, the Chicago 5K Schlep, the Miami Schlep. If you're interested, see me. We raise money, we send it to Israel, and we support at the Rabin Medical Center a BRCA screening clinic that helps women detect the BRCA gene before they might get the onset of cancer. The NYC 5K Schlep is a resounding success. We raise a lot of money, we raise awareness, and I hope that all of the viewers of this great television station and all of these great people, 1 out of 7 people who are Jewish women, who are Ashkenazi, get breast and ovarian cancer. And so we hope that you will support the Schlep and you will contact us about making this 5K walk-run for schlepping in your city for a good cause. We are proud of all of that at the hospital in Israel. This is a way for American Jews to support the best hospital without having any qualms that have to do with political differences or opinions that have to do with religion. This is about human health care, a great Jewish value. Cardinal Dolan said it best. Judaism and Christianity merge two great cardinal virtues, learning and healing. And as a rabbi, I feel that that's what I ask you to do across America, support our mission to support healing for all the citizens of Israel, Jew, Christian, and Arab. Thank you.
Josh, it was an honor to be here with you tonight and the people who have gathered. You have a spectacular evening, and you're going to let us stay and show the JBS audience your festivities tonight, which look like they're going to be a fabulous. You're putting on one heck of a show.
We are. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for being with
you.
us. So there you have it, some of the people who are here to celebrate the Rabin Medical Center at Cipriani. It is a wonderful crowd here for a wonderful cause, a hospital that is doing extraordinary work, a medical center, as you've heard, that is caring for Jew and non-Jew, Israeli and Arab, and is making a difference in people's lives. From Cipriani, I'm here with Alex Barash, Carol Lilienthal. Stay with us for the actual program that everyone will be sharing in tonight. I'm Mark Golub. Be well, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to tonight's host for this evening, Magalie Laguerre-Wilkinson.
Welcome to the American Friends of Rabin Medical Center's 18th anniversary gala. This is promising to be a wonderful night for all of us, and I promise I won't talk too much. My name is Magalie Laguerre-Wilkinson, and I'm pleased to be your Master of Ceremonies this evening. I work with 60 Minutes at CBS News, and my profession has taken me to many parts of the world, and also Israel many times. So when I was asked to do this tonight, I had no hesitation because of who the honorees are. But what really sealed the deal was honoring a place named after a man who I personally held in high regard. Yitzhak Rabin is one of these people whose hand you would have hoped to get to shake one day, a man who was a visionary and whose spirit of peaceful coexistence is at the core of what the Rabin Medical Center is all about. Now, even though I never had the opportunity to shake his hand, I do tend to see a silver lining in everything, because I will get to utter the name Yitzhak and Rabin many a time tonight. The Rabin Medical Center is Israel's premier medical institution that treats 1 million patients annually. The compassionate equal care is given to Israeli Jews, Christians and Muslims, and Palestinians from the West Bank and Gaza. The American Friends of Rabin Medical Center's mission is to have a connection not just between both countries, but also with New York City. And New York City is on tonight, where such a vital relationship with doctors on both sides of the world can only benefit not just those who receive the care, but also the doctors who deliver it. So on a personal note, I know a thing or two about Israel and doctors. See, back in 2010, when the deadly earthquake struck Haiti, I was sent down to cover the tragedy. And in the world of news, as you all know, perhaps, everyone always wants to be first or to get there first, and to be there to cover that exclusive. So we arrived the next morning, very early. We were the first news team on the ground, but who preceded us? Who was to precede us but a big, huge, gigantic El Al plane in Port-au-Prince, full of medical personnel doing God's work. They transformed the soccer stadium in Port-au-Prince, and it was really an amazing sight. So tonight's gala celebrates two great New Yorkers and awards each of them the Yitzhak Rabin Excellence in Leadership Award. In these times where courageous leadership is in short supply, we honor two shining lights that radiate over our New York City skyline. His Eminence, Timothy Cardinal Dolan, for outstanding religious leadership, and Scott Rechler, a prime example of civic and corporate responsibility and my friend. His Eminence has a long list of activities and is always on the go. But in the spirit of tonight, I'd like to underline what's important always, but especially in these times, is His Eminence's constant interfaith dialogue. We are all brothers and sisters, and that is the message His Eminence doesn't just deliver, but also practices. And Scott Rechler is the quintessential New Yorker, always doing right by this city. You should follow him on Twitter. Scott's a leader. I personally have some suggestions about his future, but I won't get into that tonight. Would you believe I know Scott through his lovely wife, Debbie, not because of activities in New York, but in Tanzania? The Rechlers' tentacles spread far and beyond. Scott and Debbie's devotion to giving, giving, and giving is also an example to all of us. So a few thank yous are in order. They have to be. Thank you to the American Friends of Rabin Medical Center Gala chairs, Stephen Siegel, David Stark, and Ron Cohen. And to the American Friends of Rabin Medical Center Board of Directors who work so hard each year to make an event like this, once in a lifetime, a success. A special thank you to Mr. David Stark, Group Executive Vice President and Chief Legal Officer of Teva Pharmaceuticals. For many years now, Teva has helped to make this gala a phenomenal success with participation of its corporate friends. Thank you to David and Teva and your corporate partners for your ongoing commitment. And a special thank you to American Friends of Rabin Medical Center's President of the Board, Ron Cohen, and Executive Director, and my friend, Joshua Plout, for their leadership and enthusiasm. And thanks for getting me here tonight. As we acknowledge AFRMC's 23rd anniversary, we thank all of you who are here tonight. Thank you for your friendship, and especially for your generosity. We acknowledge in our midst tonight two judges, Honorable Diane Yatoro and Judge Annalisa Torres. And finally, as a gala dedicated to representing the best values of New York, here tonight are Muslim, Jewish, and Christian clerics through the auspices of the New York Archdiocese and the New York Board of Rabbis. Very important. So why are we all here tonight? Because the fundraising from this evening's gala and from AFRMC's efforts throughout the year support the Rabin Medical Center, which again, I have to remind you, is the premier medical center in Israel. Tonight, we are fortunate, very fortunate, to have the director of the Rabin Medical Center, Dr. Aaron Halperin, present here in New York, and at this time, we'd like to invite him up to the stage.
Dear friends, shalom, good evening. I'm Aaron Halperin, CEO of Rabin Medical Center in beautiful Tel Aviv, actually Petach Tikvah, it's a suburb nearby. Thank you very much for being here tonight and for your generosity supporting Rabin Medical Center. You have been our most steadfast friends, and your spirited giving has enabled us to attract the best doctors who in turn attract hundreds of thousands of patients each year from all around Israel and also abroad to come to our institution. Our new Level 1 Husinman Emergency Center and Trauma Center, named in honor of you, our American Friends of Rabin Medical Center, treats 170,000 patients each year, is equipped to treat any personal or wartime emergencies, and ensures Israel's very survival as a nation. This week, for the first time, Rabin Medical Center Emergency and Trauma Center was given the highest rating among 24 hospitals surveyed by the Israeli Ministry of Health, so we were ranked high. In 2018, and believe me, you probably know emergency centers in each hospital are not the quietest place. In 2018, every brand new transplant center will be open alongside our Helen Schneider Women's Hospital, our Rekanati Genetics Institute, and Israel Premier Cancer Treatment Center. And that's why I am with you this evening. Tonight, I am delighted to announce that by 2020, we will double the size of our Davidov Cancer Center, which will include a new acute myeloid leukemia outpatient clinic bearing the names of our dear AFRMC friends, Wendy and Steven Segal. Wendy and Steven, please join me at the podium to accept a congratulatory plaque establishing Rabin Medical Center new AML outpatient clinic. I would like to read what's in this plaque.
Or door number 2.
Pardon?
Or door number 2.
Yeah.
It's an American joke.
American Friends of Rabin Medical Center Board of Directors announced the establishment of the Wendy and Steven Segal Acute Myeloid Leukemia Outpatient Clinic at Israel's Rabin Medical Center. Wendy is a shining example of courage and optimism, an inspiration and role model. Always exuberant, kind, and generous. Steve is a pillar of strength and unwavering support. Together, your acts of compassion sustain and save many lives to make our world a better place. Thank you, Wendy and Steven, for helping Israel's Rabin Medical Center flourish and excel.
It's beautiful. Thank you for all you do. I'm pleased to announce that in addition to Dr. Halperin, tonight we have many Rabin Medical Center doctors in the room. Some of them are part of this wonderful program in which over 80 Rabin Medical Exchange doctors have been brought here because of your generosity to the United States in the past 7 years for specialization and training. Tonight's gala will support at least 8 new doctors. Marianne Tai is the CEO of the New York Tri-State CBRE and is here tonight as a close personal friend of both His Eminence, Timothy Cardinal Dolan, and Scott Rechler. Please welcome Marianne with your warm applause.
Congratulations to Wendy and Steve. I had no idea, but I can't think of anyone more deserving than the two of you. Congratulations. So, Scott Rechler, where are you? There. Scott was born to the real estate business. His grandfather built the first industrial park in New York City. And often I have envisioned the infant Scott sitting in his high chair as his father fed him stories of the family business. It is the only way I can explain how when Scott was only 28 years old, he took the family business public in a $300 million IPO, which, believe me, in 1995 was big money. Over the next 12 years, Scott built Rexon. The public company's name was Rexon. Until in 2007, he sold Rexon to SL Green for $6 billion, a 700% return to shareholders. In 2007, by the way, literally the next day, Scott started RXR, which is his company today. It's just 10 years later, and his company is now valued at $18 billion, and I'm going to offer just one statistic. RXR is the 4th largest owner of commercial space in New York, the #1 privately held real estate company in New York. Scott is an ace at so many aspects of the real estate business, but I'm going to give a shout out just for one because I love these people. He has built a remarkable team. His eye for talent is extraordinary. Bill Elder, Seth Pinsky, Joanne Maneri, Whitney Arcaro, these are some of the best and brightest stars, and they're on Scott's team. But tonight, we're focused on his civic and philanthropic work, and I urge you to look in your programs to get the full sense of Scott's impact on our community. Right now, to name just a few examples, he's chairman of the Regional Planning Association, a governor of the Real Estate Board of New York, co-chair of the Tribeca Film Festival, and a board member at 9/11 Museum, and it goes on. That's why I urge you to look at it. But I have a little personal story that I'd like to say. Our paths crossed in Scott's civic life when he served as vice chairman of the board of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. I was representing the Silverstein organization in its efforts to develop 3 World Trade Center, a task I share with Steve Siegel. And there was a lot of pushback from the Port Authority board, arguing that the demand for space didn't support the economics of 3 World Trade. This was a tumultuous period, and I called poor Scott evenings, weekends, always, always. He made himself available to me. And it is so important to stress, there was nothing in this for Scott personally or for RXR. He was acting in his role as good citizen. As this process moved forward, I knew that without Scott, 3 World Trade Center would never get built, despite the heroic efforts of its developer, the great Larry Silverstein, and the Port Authority's valiant executive director, Pat Foy. It was Scott who carried the 3 World Trade Center banner at some very painful board meetings and through some very ugly press. Next year, 5,000 people will move into 3 World Trade Center, and over the next several years, that number will triple. Thank you, Scott. Obviously, it is very right that tonight we present you with the Yitzhak Rabin Excellence in Leadership Award for exemplary civic and corporate responsibility. Please come up, Scott. Let me tell you what the plaque reads. Magnanimous New Yorker and real estate legend, exemplar of civic and corporate responsibility, dedicated public leader and cultural patron, champion of social innovation, outstanding colleague and loyal friend, a generous spirit. Thank you to a true friend of Israel and the Jewish people for helping Israel's Rabin Medical Center flourish and excel. Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you. Thank you, Marianne. Marianne's a great friend and a great civic leader in her own right, and for all of us in the real estate industry knows that she has been someone that has been a guiding light, a great mentor and role model for many of us. And I do remember those phone calls that Marianne was referencing in her commentary, typically on a Saturday morning. And Cardinal, I really can't say what she actually said because she was not as polite and gracious as she was pretending to be here tonight. But she made her point well. And we got it done together as a team. So I appreciate all that you do for New York and for our industry and for all your civic endeavors. And Magalie, where are you, Magalie? There you are, hiding now on me. Magalie, a great friend, a great partner in crime, never afraid to raise her hand whenever there is a charitable endeavor, whether it's in Tanzania, the west side of Manhattan, or here tonight. Magalie's always willing to come up, and she does such a great job, and beautiful and articulate, and thank you, Magalie, for all that you do and your commitment here. I'd also like to congratulate Steve and Wendy Siegel. That's a great honor, and again, we were all surprised by that, but well-deserved, and you know how much I'm by your side all the time and always in my thoughts, and Steve, thank you, and Wendy, keep pushing here, because this is great stuff what you do. I got to thank the American Friends of Rabin Medical Center. It's, you know, they talk about New York and what they've done. There's probably one of the most effective organizations that is not really based in New York that has been penetrated the New York community, and that's because Israel is our 6th borough. And so when you think about that, we recognize that. And as the New York 6th borough, and tonight I formally make you New York 6th borough, if I have any powers to do that. You are now New York 6th borough, and we appreciate you, and we'll stand by Rabin as we go forward, and I really appreciate this honor. I'd like to thank all of the people in our industry that came out to support it, and particularly my colleagues at RXR who everything we do couldn't have been done without them as my partners and friends, working day and night for our company and for our community. So thank you all for your support. I'm also very honored to receive this reward, but incredibly humbled to be in the company of Cardinal Dolan. Your Eminence, nobody has done more to bring together the people of this city with a message of tolerance and inclusion but you. You do it every day, and I appreciate the efforts and the leadership that you show, so thank you. My friends, it's no secret that we're living in times of towering uncertainty. We're living in a world where a 140-character tweet can completely reshuffle the cards of global power. We're shaken almost daily by shifts that once took years to unfold, much less understand, only to have these jarring events replaced and forgotten about when the next crisis takes place, a week or sometimes even days later. In the face of such change, how do we get our arms around such unruly, such unprecedented forces and continue to move forward? Maybe this is a question that's better suited for the Cardinal than a real estate guy from New York, but I'm going to take my shot at it. Because the reality is that our nation's economy is going through one of its greatest transformations since World War II. Advances in technology have ushered in a wave of disruption and that are bigger and faster paced than anyone could have predicted or frankly even imagined. The rapid rate of change is turning long-standing industries upside down overnight. Take ride sharing, for example. Companies like Uber and Lyft putting out the yellow cab business after 90 years of them flourishing in New York, becoming disintermediated by ride sharing. Same is true in the real estate industry, where we've seen Airbnb add 45,000 hotel rooms to our marketplace without a nail or a brick being put forward. And this is just the beginning. Think about the impact of automated vehicles, artificial intelligence, and robotics will have on our economy. Think about the hundreds of thousands of drivers and truck drivers, call center operators, security personnel, and retail workers who will be displaced from their jobs. Ultimately, this should result in a higher standard of living and more sustainable growth. But, as we already are seeing, this has been and will continue to be a painful transition period. We've created an ever-widening inequality gap with the haves getting more and more and the have-nots getting less and less. This is certainly being reflected in our politics today with monumental political disruptions from here to home to the Middle East, Asia, and Europe, resulting in dangerous disruptions in our sense of community. Today, as we have seen, a horrifying increase in hate crimes across the country. At a recent MTA board meeting, we were shocked to learn that there's been a 143% increase in hate crimes over the last year, mostly related to race, religion, or of sexual preference. Today, we live in a country where we have to fear for our kids' safety when they go off to school, go to a concert, or go to church. Mass shootings have become so common that in the span of just 2 months, we saw some of the deadliest mass shootings in our nation's history, yet there's been no action taken to stem this epidemic. I believe that times like this demand the renegotiation of the social contract between business, government, and civic responsibility. As business leaders, we must take on greater responsibility. As business leaders, we need to advocate and take responsibility for the well-being of our communities as much as we do for the well-being of our companies. As business leaders, we need to recognize the fallout from the structural disruption that we are going through and be more compassionate about those on the losing end of this economic reshuffling. And as business leaders, we need to provide a roadmap into the 21st century where technology helps create a better quality of life, a stronger sense of community, and an opportunity for everyone who works hard and plays by the rules to prosper. The Rabin Medical Center understands this and has made it the very foundation of its mission, which states, "The great advances in technology are merely tools to help the individual. At the basis of Rabin Medical Center's mission are people. People supporting people, striving to make tomorrow a better day. This is the type of 21st century leadership that we all need. Justice Brandeis once said that the most important political office is that of private citizen. We all need to take that message to heart. In today's uncertain world, this means being more informed, more open-minded, and more committed to being actively engaged. This message also reminds me of one of the things I learned when nobody thought I was paying attention at Hebrew school. The concept of tikkun olam, and that's the responsibility of each and every one of us, literally taking the opportunity to repair the world, to do our part to make our world, to make our communities better places. Today, more than ever, as business and civic leaders, we have a responsibility to rise to this challenge. Today, more than ever, we have a responsibility to care for those that are displaced. Today, more than ever, we have a responsibility to speak out against those who try to divide and who use politics of fear and hatred. Today, more than ever, we have a responsibility to demand that when it comes to making our communities safer from gun violence, thoughts and prayer are not enough, but that our leaders have a responsibility to act. Today, more than ever, as business and civic leaders, we have a responsibility to take responsibility for the health and vitality of our community at large. To me, it is the moral and economic imperative in these uncertain times, and that is why tonight's award and honor is so meaningful to me personally. Thank you again to Rabin Medical Center for your leadership and your honor, and thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you.
Scott, that was wonderful. Those suggestions that I had for the future, I don't know, Scott. Right now I want to welcome back to the podium, in a few seconds, when she can, Marianne Tai, who will introduce His Eminence.
The first time I heard about Timothy Dolan was in an email from a friend who lives in Milwaukee. Nancy Einhorn, my pal, is an active member of her community and a devout Jew. She is also one of these candid people with X-ray vision. She always understands people's character and their motives. And here's what Nancy wrote to me. This was in 2009. She says, "You're so lucky to be getting Bishop Dolan as the new head of the New York Archdiocese. He arrived in Milwaukee at a difficult time and has brought our community together, healing and helping. Our loss, your gain." Boy, was Nancy right. At that point, then Archbishop Dolan had been a priest for 33 years and had distinguished himself through many assignments, serving in parishes in various parts of the Midwest. He's a St. Louis boy, and having done some tours of duty in Rome, including serving as rector of the Pontifical North American College, where he was a former alum. In recognition of his exemplary stewardship in the many roles he's played on behalf of the Church, in 2012, Pope Benedict XVI elevated him to that most exclusive of clubs, the College of Cardinals. Throughout his life in the Church, Cardinal Dolan has wrestled with challenges of all types: spiritual, political, social, financial. In reflecting on his remarkable abilities and his connection to the Rabin Medical Center, I came across a quote from Prime Minister Rabin, who said, "You have to seek out and talk to people. You cannot understand people from a distance." From the moment His Eminence arrived in New York, he has reached out at every level to the diverse communities that collectively make us a great melting pot. And he always does it with a warm embrace, humor, smarts, and a pure joy in his mission. 5 years ago, American Friends of Rabin Medical Center Executive Director, Rabbi Joshua Plout, first met with Cardinal Dolan, and this was the beginning of a beautiful friendship that has only deepened over time. As a result of Cardinal Dolan's connection with AFRMC, His Eminence facilitated Rabin Medical Exchange Fellows visiting Calvary Hospital in the Bronx for training in palliative care. Thus far, 2 Rabin Fellows have trained at Calvary in a classic Cardinal Dolan-style collaboration. So it is fitting that tonight His Eminence should receive the Yitzhak Rabin Excellence in Religious Leadership Award. And now I get to say something I never thought I would say. Cardinal Dolan, Mazel Tov.
Marianne, thank you. You look good in red, too. Right. Thank you, my friends. This honor this evening from the American Friends of the Rabin Medical Center means a lot to me. And let me try to tell you why, okay? For one, think about it, that the Catholic Archbishop of New York would be honored by an acclaimed hospital in Israel reflects the touching and tender climate of religious concord that radiates from this great city. That Christians, Jews, and Muslims, representatives of so many diverse creeds, would come together this evening in a lot of fun, fellowship, and support of a healing center in Tel Aviv is a tribute to the religious freedom and respect for belief that is not to be taken lightly in a world where such an event would be thought science fiction. Number 2, why, let me ask you this, why are we Jews and Christians so passionate about health care? Why are my own physicians, 2 of whom are here this evening, Dr. Perskin and Dr. Pochapin, neither of whom are from County Tipperary, why are they Jewish? Why do doctors from Israel come to Calvary Hospital, administered by ArchCare of the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese of New York? Why is a pavilion at Rabin Medical Center named after my predecessor, Cardinal John O'Connor? Why are Jews and Catholics so into health care? Could it be because we cherish the treasure of the psalmist who chants, "You have made us little less than a god. You've crowned us with glory and beauty." See, you and I are heirs to the wisdom literature of Israel, which tell us that God did not make death. He takes no pleasure in the sickness of the living. He created the creatures of the world with health in them. You and I, my friends, cling to the belief that we are made in God's image and likeness, destined for eternity. Within us is the flicker of the divine. Thus, we are not a cluster of molecules, we are miracles. To heal is to do God's work, to be part of his ongoing recreation. From Elisha the prophet, cleansing Naaman the Syrian from leprosy, from the archangel Raphael, opening the blinded eyes of Tobias, to Jesus, the divine physician, healing the paralytic at the synagogue in Capernaum. You and I are heirs of a noble legacy of healing. That's why this award from a renowned hospital in a land called Holy, named after a great peacemaker, means so very much to me, and that's why I'm very grateful. Thank you. This is bigger than the plaque I got when I was named a cardinal.
I'd like to invite Ron Cohen and Joshua Plout to the stage for a special gift. Ron, Josh? We wanted to embarrass you a bit because we knew you'd say no. Go on.
This is just a moment to thank Ron Cohen for his amazing leadership for this organization. We present to him a beautiful original piece of artwork by Peter Max of Yitzhak Rabin and signed by him. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming in tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, a special performance of songs from Hamilton.
A toast to the groom, to the bride, from your sister, who is always by your side, to your union, and the hope that you provide. May you always be satisfied. I remember that night, I just might regret that night for the rest of my days. I remember those soldier boys tripping over themselves to win our praise. I remember that dream like candlelight, like a dream that you can't quite place. But Alexander, I'll never forget the first time I saw your face. I have never been the same. Intelligent eyes in a hunger-pang frame. And when you said hi, I forgot my dang name. Set my heart aflame, every part aflame. So this is what it feels like to match wits with someone at your level. What the hell is the catch? It's the feeling of freedom, of seeing the light. It's Ben Franklin with a key and a kite. You see it right. The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything we said in total agreement. It's a dream and it's a bit of a dance. A bit of a posture, it's a bit of a stance. He's a bit of a flirt, but I'ma give it a chance. I asked about his family. Did you see his answer? His hands started fidgeting. He looked askance. He's penniless. He's flying by the seat of his pants. Handsome, boy, does he know it. Peach fuzz, and he can't even grow it. I want to take him far away from this place. Then I turn and see my sister's face, and she is. And I know she is. And her eyes are just. And I realize 3 fundamental truths at the exact same time. I'm a girl in a world in which my only job is to marry rich. My father has no son, so I'm the one who has the social climb for one. Cause I'm the oldest and the wittiest, and the gossip in New York City is insidious. And Alexander is penniless. That doesn't mean I want him any less. He's after me cause I'm a scholar sister that elevates his status. I'd have to be naive to set that aside. Maybe that is why I introduced him to Eliza. Now that's his bride. Nice going, Angelica. He was right, he will never be satisfied. I know my sister like I know my own mind. You will never find anyone as trusting or as kind. If I tell her that I love him, she'd be silently resigned. He'd be mine. She would say I'm fine, but she'd be lying. But when I fantasize at night, it's Alexander's eyes as I romanticize what might have been if I hadn't sized him up so quickly. At least my dear Eliza's his wife. At least I keep his eyes in my life. To the groom! To the bride! From your sister, who is always by your side, to your union, and the hope that you provide. and I know he will never be satisfied. I will never be satisfied. Thank you so much. I'd like to welcome you all tonight. Everybody looks wonderful. So nice to be dressed up. I don't know, I don't get to do this very often. I'd like to invite Sydney up to sing this next song with me. And this is a song that Sydney and I never got a chance to sing in the show. But we've come up with a little duet version of it that we think sounds pretty nice. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Dear Theodosia, what to say to you? You have my eyes, you have your mother's name, and when you came into the world, you cried, and it broke my heart. I'm dedicating every day to you. Domestic life was never quite my style. When you smile, you knock me out, I fall apart, and I thought I was so smart. You will come of age with our young nation. We'll bleed and fight for you. We'll make it right for you. If we lay a strong enough foundation, we'll pass it on to you. We'll give the world to you, and you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday. Yeah, you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday.
My father wasn't around.
My father wasn't around. I'll be around for you.
I'll do whatever it takes.
I'll make a million mistakes. I'll make the world safe and sound for you. We'll come of age with our young nation. We'll bleed and fight for you. We'll make it right for you. If we lay a strong enough foundation, we'll pass it on to you. We'll give the world to you, and you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday. Yeah, you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday. We're going to sing another song that is, I mean, it's really a beautiful song. It's a part in the show where Eliza Hamilton and Alexander Hamilton are going through the loss of their child. And we hope with the help of the Rabin Center that nobody has to go through anything like that with any loved one. So here we go. There are moments that the words don't reach. There is suffering too terrible to name. You hold your child as tight as you can and push away the unimaginable. The moments when you're in so deep, it feels easier to just swim down. And so they move uptown and learn to live with the unimaginable.
I spend hours in the garden. I walk alone to the store. It's quiet uptown. I never liked the quiet before. A take the children to church on Sunday, a sign of the cross at the door, and I pray that never used to happen before.
If you see him in the street, walking by himself, talking to himself, have pity.
Do you like it uptown? It's quiet uptown.
He is going through the unimaginable. His hair has gone gray. He passes every day. They say he walks the length of the city.
You knock me out, I fall apart.
Look at where we are. Look at where we started. I know I don't deserve you, but hear me out, that would be enough. If I could spare his life, if I could trade his life for mine, he'd be standing here right now, and you would smile, and that would be enough.
I don't pretend to know the challenges we're facing. I know there's no replacing what you've lost, and you need time, but I'm not afraid. I know who I'm married. Just let me stay here by your side, and that would be enough.
Do you like it uptown? It's quiet uptown.
Walking in the park long after dark.
Look around, look around, look around. There are moments that the words don't reach. There's a grace too powerful to name. We push away what we can never understand. We push away the unimaginable. They are standing in the garden, standing there side by side.
She takes his hand.
It's quiet uptown. See him in the street, walking by her side, talking by her side, have pity. Look around, look around, look around. They are going through the unimaginable.
First, I want to thank Jonna Ballard, the director of the choir at LaGuardia. Let's hear it. She has been working on this for a minute, and she's a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous musician. And now, can you please give it up for these amazing young artists who have joined us here on stage. Really, it's been amazing. Yeah, it's special. They are doing Broadway work up here, and I really am so thankful for it. Yeah. Take a bow, kids. It's not your last. I also want to thank the Rabin Center and the American Friends for having us and allowing us the opportunity, and for all the work you do. It really resonates, especially when you're talking about issues like this last song. But now I want to talk about passing a debt plan. And one of the great things funny how things are the same as the 1800s today. But at least, Hamilton found a way to make passing a debt plan sexy and danceable. And
The number that happens in, where you figure out how we got our first bank, is called The Room Where It Happens. And I'm going to be joined by our amazing choir here to do that number for you now. Ah, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Burr, sir.
Did you hear the news about good old General Mercer?
No.
You know, Claremont Street.
Yeah.
They renamed it after him. The Mercer legacy is secure.
Sure.
And all he had to do was die.
Well, that's a lot less work.
We ought to give it a try. Now, how you gonna get your debt plan through?
I guess I'm gonna finally have to listen to you.
Really?
Talk less, smile more.
Okay.
Do whatever it takes to get my plan on the Congress floor.
Now, Madison and Jefferson are merciless.
Well, hate the sin, love the sinner.
Hamilton.
I'm sorry, Burr, I've gotta go.
Oh, come on.
Decisions are happening over dinner.
Two Virginians and an immigrant walk into a room, diametrically opposed foes. They emerge with the compromise, having opened doors that were previously closed. The immigrant emerges with unprecedented financial power, a system he can shape however he wants. The Virginians emerge with the nation's capital, and here's the pièce de résistance. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one really knows how the game is played, the art of the trade, how the sausage gets made. We just assume that it happens, but no one else is in the room where it happens. Thomas claims
Alexander was on Washington's doorstep one day in distress and disarray.
Thomas claims
Alexander said,
I've nowhere else to turn,
and basically begged me to join the fray.
Thomas claims
I approached Madison, I said, I know you hate him, but let's hear what he has to say.
Thomas claims
Well, I arranged the meeting, I arranged the venue, the seating.
But no one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one really knows how the parties get to yes, the pieces that are sacrificed in every game of chess. We just assume that it happens, but no one else is in the room where it happens. Meanwhile, Madison is grappling with the fact that not every issue can be settled by committee. Congress is fighting over where to put the Capitol. It isn't pretty. Then Jefferson approaches with the dinner and invite, and Madison responds with Virginian insight.
We can solve one problem with another and win a victory for the Southerners. In other words, a quid pro quo.
I suppose.
Wouldn't you like to work a little closer to home?
Actually, I would.
Well, I propose the Potomac.
And you'll provide him his votes?
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Let's go.
No. The room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. My God, in God we trust, but we never really know what got discussed. Click, boom, then it happened. And no one else was in the room where it happened. What did they say to you to get you to sail New York City down the river? Did Washington know about the dinner? Was there presidential pressure to deliver? Or did you know even then, it doesn't matter where you put the U.S. Capitol?
Because we'll have the banks, we're in the same spot.
You got more than you gave.
And I wanted what I got. When you got skin in the game, you stay in the game. But you don't get a win unless you play in the game. Oh, you get love for it, you get hate for it. You get nothing if you wait for it, wait for it, wait. God help and forgive me. I want to build something that's gonna outlive me. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I want to be in the room where it happens. I want to be in the room. I gotta be, I got to be, I got to be in the room, in that big old room. hold your nose and close your eyes. But we don't get a say in what they trade away, yeah. We dream of a brand new start. But we dream in the dark for the most part. Dark has a tune where it happened. I got to be in the room where it happens. I've got to be. I've got to be. Oh, I got to be in the room where it happens. I gotta be. I wanna be. I gotta be in the room. Click, boom. Thank you. Can we hear it one more time for the students of LaGuardia High? Can we hear it one more time for Carly Betfield? Thank you so much for having us. Thank you. Thank you so much. No.
Pleased to send a complimentary DVD of this program to anyone who wishes to support JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, with a tax-deductible gift of $36, double chai or more, to the non-profit organization Jewish Education in Media. Simply visit the JBS homepage and click on the Donate button to make a donation by PayPal or your credit card. And please indicate the program for which you would like a DVD. Or you can send your tax-deductible check made out to Jem, Post Office Box 180, Riverdale Station, Bronx, New York 10471. And again, please remember to indicate which program you would like to receive with our compliments. And we thank you for your kind support.